This is Ajita, working as Assistant Professor, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal. Today, I am here to deliver a lesson on subject analog and digital communication. So, topic is Introduction to Communication System and need for the modulation. Before this one, as a communication engineer, we know that the communication, what is the exact definition of communication is? It is the process of conveying the information from one place to another place, or transfer of information from one place to another place. Information may be sound signal, speech signal, or audio signal, or video signal. So information, any type of information, that information is sent from one place to another place. So coming to how the communication system block diagram is. Here it is, the communication system main blocks are, we have a source of information is there. So the source of information generates the source signals. That means signals. It will generate the message signals or information signal. So it has to given to input for the transmitter. So transmitter has a job of some specific tasks are there for the transmitter. It will transmit the EM wave signal, electromagnetic waves. So electromagnetic wave is given for the antenna. Antenna will transmit that signal to channel, and the channel, at the channel the EM wave is transmitted, and at the receiver the EM wave is received, and at the receiver again we are going to receive the information signal. So these are the fundamental blocks of the communication system: information source, transmitter, channel, and receiver. Again, we will see what are the jobs of the transmitter and what are the jobs of the receiver and what is the purpose of information source. This is the more specifically the block diagram is expanded. So information source like sound signal, pictures or video signal or audio signal. So that is generated from the source. And here it is a transducer is there. Transducer. What is transducer? Transducer is a physical device which converts physical energy into electrical energy. Because we are transmitting electrical energy, so physical signals we will not transmit directly. The conversion of physical energy to sound energy is required. That is done by the transducers. Because sound signal is echo signal, acoustic signal. So the physical energy, acoustic physical energy has to convert it into electrical form. So here the output is electrical form, and the electrical form is given to the transmitter. So in the transmitter, there is concept called modulation. There is a concept called modulation. Modulation is done at the transmitter, and the modulated signal is transmitted to channel. Channel is classified into two types: wired channel and wireless channel. Wired channel and wireless channel. So media may be anything: wired media, wireless media. So wired media means we have seen optical fibers, twisted coaxial cables are examples for the wired communication. And wireless, the media is free space. Free space acts as a channel for the wireless communication as the waves signals are transmitting through the free space. And after channel, we have a receiver is there. And the receiver functionality of the receiver is it receives the signal from the channel. And it will do demodulation, the opposite process of modulation, demodulation. So here the information signal is received at the receiver point. This is electrical signal again. And again electrical signal is converted into physical form. So which is the original form of the energy. Physical energy is converted into electrical energy at the transmitter side. So at the receiver again, so at this point the signal is electrical signal. Again that is converted into physical energy. That is the output transducer. So which is the original information. So here the channel is wired type and wireless type. Coming to the more specifically how this information source, transducer, transmitter is operated with one example. The source may be here signal. The signal may be analog or digital. Okay, see here the signal is analog or digital. transmitter, we have transducer, and we have amplifier, we have modulator, oscillator, power amplifier, and antenna. So without antenna, we will not transmit the signal from one place to another place. So here you have one transmitting antenna is required at the transmitter type, and at the receiver side also we need one receiving antenna. So transmitting antenna and receiving antenna. And antenna will transmit only EM waves, electromagnetic waves. Antenna will transmit electromagnetic waves. So here one more conversion is required, that is information again converted back to EM waves. That is done by the transmitting antenna and receiving antenna. So transmitter we have amplifiers may be placed, modulators may be placed, and transducer also called as a transmitter block. And channel, cable, through optical fiber, and through free space. So what is the receiver? Receiver consists of receiving antenna for receiving the signal, and receiver may contains amplifiers, and the main important block for the receiver is demodulator circuit. So demodulator circuit and oscillator. So here the physical message signals such as sound, pictures. Picture means you have a light intensity variations. Picture means it is also a signal, but here we are recording the light intensity variation with respect to time. Light intensity variations with respect to time. So in sound, acoustic pressure. In sound, acoustic pressure is recorded as the time. Pressure is with respect to time. So whatever may be the information, one physical quantity varies with respect to time. That physical quantities are converted into electrical signals by using the transducer. Best example for the transducer is a sensor which accepts the physical energy and converts into electrical signal. That electrical signal we need to transfer from one place to another place. So it is a distance communication. So here the transmitter is there and here the receiver is there. In between, channel is there. So we have to transmit that electrical signal this place to this place. The distance is maybe transmitter to receiver. The distance is maybe shorter distance or longer distance. Whatever may be the distance, we have to transmit from one place to another place. Coming to the real frequencies of the signal, suppose if you take the voice signal or speech signal, it lies in the frequency range 300 Hz to 3.5 kHz. And audio signals lies in the range 20 to 20 kHz. And if you take video signal, the frequency lies between 0 to 4.5 MHz. These are the signals and their frequency ranges. Coming to this communication system. So before discussing about the analog communication system, we have signals. What is signal? Signal is a one-dimensional quantity. So here one-dimensional quantity where one dependent parameter and one independent parameter. Dependent and one independent parameter. That means one parameter depends on another one. Suppose if you take a sound signal or voice signal, voice pressure, acoustic pressure depends on time. From time to time, the pressure of the signal varies. So here the signal depends on time. Signal depends on time. X-axis and acoustic pressure. We are measuring the acoustic pressure as sound signal. So that depends on time. Here y-axis is acoustic pressure. Acoustic pressure depends on time. Time is independent variable and acoustic pressure is a dependent variable. So signal, any type of signal, one independent variable and one dependent variable. Independent variable is time always. With respect to time, we are measuring some type of energy. The measurement of energy is called as signal. So coming to analog, classification of signal. Signals are classified into analog signal, analog, digital, and in between analog and digital, we have a discrete signal is also there. So what is analog signal and what is digital signal and what is discrete signal? So we know that one dependent variable, that is y-axis, this is dependent, and one independent variable time, that is x-axis. Time is on x-axis. Coming to signal, so we are measuring the strength of the signal with respect to time. The strength is known as amplitude. The strength is known as amplitude. So we have time is there on x-axis and amplitude is there on y-axis. If amplitude and time both are continuous, then the signal is known as analog signal. Here we have a concept called continuous. What is the meaning of continuous? Continuous is nothing but, so at each and every instant of time, if the amplitude exists, then it is called as continuous. Each and every instant means, so infinite number of samples are there in continuous. So we cannot miss any value. We cannot miss any value. Suppose if you take 0, we have particular amplitude. Then if you take 0.0001, there also we have certain amplitude. So at any instant of time, if the amplitude exists, then it is called analog signal. Analog signal consists of infinite number of samples. Infinite number of samples. So this is a big advantage of when we considering if we want to lose any signal, analog is best because it contains infinite number of samples. Example for analog signal is speech signal, television signals, all are analog signal. Next classification is digital signal. So digital signal is a signal that represent data as a discrete values. Data as a discrete value. In analog signal, amplitude is also continuous. If you take y-axis, that is also continuous. Time is also continuous. So continuous means amplitude also varies from minus infinite to plus infinite. Amplitude value also exists from minus infinite to plus infinite. Any value it can take. Whereas for digital signal, it takes discrete value. Discrete value means countable and finite. Discrete means countable and finite. Countable and finite. If the amplitude values are finite, then it is discrete values of amplitude is exist. If you take digital signal, it can take two values only. Digital signal can take 0 volts and 5 volts. 0 volts can be treated as logic 0 and 5 volts can be treated as logic 1. Okay, it will take discrete values of voltage and the time intervals also it is discrete. Time and voltage both are discrete, then it is called as digital signal. Only two voltages exist, logic 0 and logic 1. Logic 0 can be treated as 0 volts, logic 1 can be treated as 5 volts. Digital signal is nothing but series of zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. So we can have in real time analog signals and digital signals. So where the digital signal exists means digital signals are finite and even computers can understand only digital signals, not the analog signals. Now coming to analog versus digital communication. So we can process analog signal as well as digital signal. But in the process of analog and digital signals, there are some advantages for analog communication and there are some advantages for digital communication. So these advantages are analog communication means analog signals used for the transmission of information. So here the complete transformation is done with analog signals. For digital communication, digital signals are used for transmission. That means series of ones and zeros is used for the transmission in the digital communication. Analog communication used sine waves, used signals as sine waves. And digital communication uses square waves as the input. Square wave means logic 0 means low level, logic 1 means high level. So it is a series of Ones and zeros, nothing but a square wave. So digital communication uses signals as a square waves. Analog communication consists of continuous values. Digital communication signal consists of discrete values. Analog communication, the main disadvantage of analog communication is in the channel, when the transmission of signal from transmitter to receiver, there is a one unknown signal is added with the known signal, that is known as noise signal. So noise means unwanted signal which is added to our original signal. Suppose original signal is transmitting from transmitter to receiver, but then unwanted signal noise added at the channel, and it will corrupt the original signals also. So we need to aware of this noise signals and how to remove this noise signal at the channels also when we transmit from analog transmitter to receiver. So this noise effect is more for analog communication systems when compared to digital communication. When analog signals are transmitted, which is more affected by the noise signal. But digital signals, noise effect is very small. And the probability of error for parallax error is analog signals is high, and for digital signals very less immune to parallax error. Analog communication requires the complicated hardware. Analog communication requires the complicated hardware. So as we proceed from module to module, you can understand the hardware required for the analog communication system and what is the hardware required for the digital communication system. So both hardwares are different. Analog communication hardware is different and digital communication hardware is different. So when the signal transmitting from one place to another place, there is lot of hardware is required. Without hardware, the signal cannot transmit from one place to another place. So hardware complexity point of view, digital communication hardware is very complicated hardware is very less. And analog communications are relatively cheaper than digital communication, and digital communication systems are costly in nature. Coming to the power requirements. So high power is required for the transmission of the analog communication, and less power is required for the digital communication. So one side some advantages are there for analog communication and some disadvantages are there for digital communication. And analog communications are less portable and they contain heavy and complicated hardware. Examples for analog communication: sound signal, speech signal, and audio signals are example for analog communication. And digital, computer uses the digital signal. As we know, computers can take the ones and zeros and it will process only ones and zeros only. So example for digital signals are the whatever the signals are communicating with the processor, those are the examples for the digital signals. So before doing this proceeding for the modulation exactly definition, so here the transmitter, the main functionality of the transmitter is it is going to perform a function called as modulation. Transmitter is going to perform a term called as modulation on the information signal. So here the information signal or message signal terminology is same, information signal or message signal. So here the transmitter is going to perform modulation on this message signal. So before studying the modulation term, what is exactly the modulation and what is the need of modulation? Why we are going to perform the modulation on information signal? So let us have a discussion on the need for modulation. So what is the need for modulation? Here are some important, very important points. So first very point is reduce the antenna height. How it will reduce the antenna height and what is the range of our information signal? What exactly is happening in the modulation? So let us have an example. How modulation reduces the antenna height. So here is the example. As earlier told, we need compulsory transmitting antenna at the transmitter side and receiving antenna at the receiver side. So we have a concept called height of the antenna. So as we are seeing the towers and outside, what is the height of the tower or what is the height of the antenna? So how can we measure the height of the antenna? So antenna heights are measured by lambda by 4, and we have a length of the antenna as lambda by 4 and lambda by 2 lengths antenna. So these lengths of antenna will be used in the wireless communication or wired communication generally. What is lambda? Lambda is called the wavelength of the signal. Lambda is called the wavelength of the signal. How lambda relates with the frequency of the signal? So here if you take the signal consists of time as the x-axis and amplitude as the y-axis. So it is having the characteristics. Amplitude is one characteristics, and more fundamental characteristics of a signal is a frequency. So exactly the information lies in the frequency of the signal. So this is very fundamental term, frequency of the signal. What is frequency? The number of oscillations per second is known as number of oscillations per second is known as the frequency of the signal. So here frequency of the signal, how frequency of the input signal is related with the wavelength of the antenna. So lambda, how lambda is related with the frequency of the signal. So lambda can be defined as C by F. If you see what is C, C is the velocity of the light, because the EM waves, antennas transmit electromagnetic waves, EM waves. The speed of the EM waves is, it will travel with the velocity of the light. So C value is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So this is the velocity of the light. So lambda equal to C by F. Based on our frequency, the lambda value depends. Suppose I told earlier, audio signals lies between 20 Hz to 20 kHz. And if you take speech signals also, it lies between 3 to 3.1K max. At 3.1K before only speech signal ends. So all are very low frequency signals. All information signals are very low frequency signal. Here comes the concept, what is the low frequency, what is the high frequency. So all informations are low frequency. If we transmit the low frequency signal as it is, that means here frequency is low. If frequency is low, what happens? Lambda is more. If lambda is more, lambda by 4 will be more, because antenna length will be more. Okay, if we directly transmit the low frequency message signal, then we need higher antennas, higher height antennas are required, which is not practically impossible. Let us have an example here. Suppose we have a 1 kHz frequency message is there. Assume information is 1 kHz. This 1 kHz, how much length antenna is required? How to calculate the length of the antenna? To calculate the length of the antenna, lambda by 4 or lambda by 2, we need to calculate lambda value. So lambda value equal to C by F. C is 3 into 10 power 8 by, what is F? F is 1 kHz. F is 1 kHz. If we calculate, we will get a lambda value as 3 lakhs meters. 3 lakhs meters. And if we go for height of the antenna lambda by 4, 3 lakhs by 4, we have 75,000 meters, nothing but 75 kilometer length antenna is required for transmitting 1 kHz information signal. 75 kilometer length antenna is not practically impossible. So we should not transmit low frequency signal directly. Low frequency information signal directly. Let us have second example. Suppose we have taken the frequency of the information signal 15 kHz. Then how to calculate lambda value? Again lambda equal to C by F. C is 3 into 10 power 8 divided by F is 15 kHz. 1 kHz is nothing but 10 power 3. So 3 into 10 power 8 by 15 into 10 cube. If we calculate this value, the value will become 5000 meters. 5000 meters. And lambda by 4 means 5000 by 4, that is 1250 meters. 1250 meters also, which is not practically impossible. So 15 kHz signal also we cannot transmit directly, because antenna height 1250 meters. which is not practically possible. Then we will take the signal frequency as 1 megahertz. You know what is the value of 1 megahertz? 1 kilohertz equal to 10 power 3 hertz. And 1 megahertz equal to 10 power 6 hertz. So what is the antenna height for transmitting 1 megahertz signal? So you have C by F, 3 into 10 power 8 divided by 1 into 10 power 6, that is 300 meters. 300 meters. Lambda by 4, if we take the antenna length as lambda by 4, 300 by 4, that is 75 meters length is sufficient for transmitting 1 megahertz signal. So you cannot change 1 kilohertz signal to 1 megahertz because our information lies in the frequency. So we should not change the frequency, but the transmission should be done for high frequencies, not for the lower frequencies. So here the concept is we cannot transmit low frequency information signal directly. We need another signal assistance. We need another high frequency signal assistance to transmit this low frequency signal. That is exactly the modulation. This is a very first reason why we need the modulation. Second point, multiplexing. What is multiplexing? So multiplexing means, suppose if you take the cable consists of only one cable from transmitter to receiver. But we can send n number of message signal through the same wire. So the concept is called multiplexing. So multiplexing means sending more signals or multiple signals through a single channel. Through a single channel is known as multiplexing. So without modulation, with the modulation, we can allow multiplexing. So here is a block diagram is there. As we know, we can do the transmission for analog signals and digital signals. Same multiplexing also, analog multiplexing is there and digital multiplexing is there. So if you see the diagram, this is the exact diagram of multiplexing and demultiplexing. So you have 1 to n message signals, 1 to n message signal, but you have single output line. Single output line. So this single output line can take 1 to n message signals and transmit to the receiver. So how it can be transmitted? Suppose first signal is also 10 Hz signal, second signal is also 10 Hz signal, third is also 20 Hz. So different analog signals is there, analog or digital signals are there, three different type of signals are there. So all signals are transmitted through single output line, that is known as multiplexing. So with the modulation, we can achieve this multiplexing. We require only one output line. So one output line means we are saving lot of output lines. Okay, this is possible because of only modulation. So if we do modulation, then n number of signals can be transmitted through a single channel. So multiplexers are two types, analog type and digital type. In analog, we have frequency division multiplexing, and digital we have time division multiplexing. What is frequency division multiplexing and what is time division multiplexing? So let us have an example here. So see here, signal 1 30 kHz signal, signal 2 40 kHz, signal 3 50 kHz. As I told earlier, these are the message signals M1, M2, M3. These three cannot be transmitted directly. Okay, we need to take the assistance of high frequency signal. That signal is known as carrier. Okay, we need to take the assistance of another high frequency signal, that is known as carrier. So this carrier 1, message 2 is transmitted through carrier 2, message 3 is transmitted through carrier 3. So all these will share the channel 20 Hz, 40 Hz and 50 kHz. Through the single channel, we are transmitting the three signals at a time. As you know, MUX is having selection lines. As the MUX is having selection lines, suppose we have n selection lines, we have 2 power n input lines. N selection lines, 2 power n input lines, and we have only one output line. Based on the selection lines, we are going to select any one of the input. Selection lines will decide which input is passed through the channel. So all the inputs simultaneously transmitted from a single channel, that is multiplexing. So this is frequency division multiplexing. Frequency is sharing among the messages. And the second utmost advantage here is lambda again plays key role in the power radiation also. So power radiation is very important parameter in the transmission. So radiated power is inversely proportional to 1 by lambda square. Radiated power is proportional to 1 by lambda whole square. When the frequency is low, if it is low, and lambda will be more. And radiated power will be, if lambda is more, radiated power will be small. If the radiated power is small, then what happens? Noise can easily added to the channel. Power should not be dropped. Power should be required. More power is not required again. And the required power should be available at the transmitter antenna or receiving antenna. If the lambda is dropped more, then what happens? Power is going to reduce. If reduced power means it will become the weak signal. If power is reduced, it will become a weak signal. So weak signal means noise can be easily added. So which is not good for the communication. So what we need to do? Again, we need to go for increasing the frequency of the signal. High frequency signal, if we transmit, frequency increases, lambda decreases. When lambda decreases, radiated power increases. So this is the relation. So we need only high frequency signal transmission rather than low frequency. But here the information is low frequency and the transmission should be done in high frequency. This is very important reason why we are going for high frequency transmission, that is modulation. Radiated power is inversely proportional to 1 by lambda whole square. And here one more important reason for the need for modulation is narrow banding. Narrow means very small. Wide means high. Narrow means small. And one more term is there, wide band. Wide band means high. So banding means, suppose if you take audio signal frequency range 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So this is the range, 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. Suppose I have transmitted 20 Hz signal. What is the antenna length? Lambda equals C by F again, 3 into 10 power 8 by 20 Hz. That is 1.5 into 10 power 6. Suppose F is 20 kilohertz, lambda equal to C by F, 3 into 10 power 8 by 20 kilohertz, 20 into 10 power 3. Then it is 1.5 into 10 power 4. See the length of the antenna. Here it is 10 power 6 and here it is 10 power 4. So this much variation of the antenna length is required for transmitting from lower frequency to higher frequency. As it is, if we transmit audio signal without modulation, the antenna height will vary from 10 power 4 to 10 power 6 meters. So this much variation of antenna height is required. For suppose, if I transmit 1 megahertz transmission, 1 megahertz plus 20 hertz and 1 megahertz plus 20 kilohertz. Then what is the antenna length? Lambda equal to C by F. It will be 1.5 meters. 1 megahertz to 20 kilohertz. So in higher band of frequencies, in higher frequency transmission, the antenna length will be same from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. Bandwidth will remain same. Narrow means we are not reducing the bandwidth. So we are maintaining the bandwidth as constant. and we are making the wavelength same. When we go for higher frequencies, antenna height should not change for 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. But if you transmit exactly 20 Hz, 20 kilohertz, antenna height vary from 10 power 4 to 10 power 6 meters. So narrow banding is possible because of only modulation only. Without modulation, each frequency will need to antenna communicate. So for each frequency, antenna has to change its length. So which is not practical because antenna is fixed with certain length only. So with that length only it is going to communicate. So we need to prefer high frequencies rather than lower frequencies. And the next reason, so all these effects, so when obstacles also there, when low frequency directly transmits, there is a loss called propagation path loss, reflection, diffraction, attenuation, and obstacles which depends on the frequency of the transmitted of the electromagnetic waves. So all these will provide some type of loss in signal when we transmit the low frequency signals. So modulation is compulsory required for the transmission of the signals from one place to another place. So before this one, the points for need for modulation is, first point, reduce the antenna height and increase the range of communication, allows the multiplexing of signals, and adjustment of bandwidth is required, avoids the mixing of signals, and improved reception quality. Improved reception quality means when we are maintaining the radiating power of antenna, whatever the required, then the quality of the receiver signal also good. So this is the improved reception quality, and last reason is narrow banding of signals. So all these are the advantages of the term modulation. Now we'll see what is modulation. So modulation. So as I told, suppose this is the information. Information is a low frequency signal. Low frequency signal. So whatever, if we transmit low frequency signal transmitted to receiver, we have some disadvantages are there. Antenna height problems are there. Narrow banding, multiplexing is not possible if we directly transmit low frequency signal. So to achieve this one, we are going to introduce a term called carrier term. Carrier signal. So information signal or message signal. Very easy way of understand of modulation is, suppose I have a truck is there. Truck is nothing but the carrier signal. Carrier just carries the message signal. So I am keeping my message signal into the truck and transmitting to the receiver. Here the carrier signal is a high frequency signal. Carrier signal is a high frequency signal. We need only message signal at the receiver. We need only message signal because information lies in the message signal. So we want to retrieve again message signal at the receiver. Simple concept is just a carrier is used as a carrier. The name itself carrier. It carries the message signal. It carries the information signal. So we are keeping message signal in the carrier signal and we are sending to the receiver. The basic is message signal is a low frequency signal which is not practically possible to transmit. So carrier signal we are taking as a high frequency signal. High frequency signal. So in this high frequency signal, we are keeping message signal and we are transmitting. That is what the modulation process. The modulation definition is, it is the technical definition. Modulation is the process by which some characteristics of a high frequency carrier. Here I can keep the message in carrier. So where the message is placing. Suppose signal, if you take, what are the signal characteristics? If you take analog signal, sinusoidal signal, what is its characteristics? It contains the first characteristics as amplitude. It contains the first characteristic as amplitude and second characteristics as frequency and third one phase. These three are the characteristics of a signal. Amplitude, frequency, phase. Now, which characteristic is used for keeping my message signal? That is known as the modulation. Some characteristics of high frequency carrier signal is varied in accordance with the instantaneous value of the message signal. So I have carrier is there. That carrier contains amplitude, frequency and phase. So which characteristic I am keeping my message signal? Amplitude part I am keeping message signal, or frequency part I am keeping message signal, or phase part. Based on in any one of the part, the message signal is kept and transmitted. That is what the modulation. Modulation is a process of varying some characteristics of high frequency carrier signal in accordance with the instantaneous value of the modulating signal or message signal. So we know to do the modulation we require the important signals: message, carrier signal. After modulation it is known as modulated signal. So modulation requires the two input. One is message, another is carrier. After modulation, it is termed as modulated signal. Modulated signal. What are the features of a message signal? Message signal is a low frequency information signal. That is a very key fundamental. Low frequency information signal. Low frequency information signal. What is carrier signal? Carrier signal is a high frequency signal, or it is also called as RF. RF frequency means radio frequency, which is higher frequencies. Radio frequencies or higher frequencies. It is an empty signal and it is used to carry only the message signal. There is no use of carrier signal in the modulation. It is just a transportation for the message signal. And after modulation, the resultant signal after the process of modulation is called as modulated signal. Modulated signal. So output of the modulation is known as modulated signal. So these are the two signals required to perform the modulation: message signal and carrier signal. Coming to type of the modulation, as earlier discussed, signals are exist in nature analog and digital. Like modulations are classified into two types: continuous wave modulation and pulse wave modulation. Based on the carrier shape, suppose carrier shape is a sinusoidal type of waveforms, then it is a continuous wave modulation. If carrier used is a sinusoidal type waveform, it is called as continuous wave modulation. If carrier used is a pulsed waveform, it is called as pulse modulation. If again carrier used in sinusoidal signal, continuous wave modulation, again classified as amplitude modulation and angle modulation. Amplitude modulation and angle modulation. I will clearly write the expression for sinusoidal signal now. Suppose carrier C of t mathematically can be represented as AC into cos theta of t. This is the mathematical representation of carrier. What is AC here? AC is called amplitude of the signal. AC is called amplitude of the signal. Theta of t is called angle of the signal. Angle of the signal. Suppose message is keeping at the amplitude side, it is called as amplitude modulation. In message signal is keeping in the amplitude part, it is called amplitude modulation. If message is keeping in the angle portion, it is called as angle modulation. And angle modulation, theta of t again can be written as 2 pi fct plus phi. Here fc is the frequency of the signal and phi is the phase of the signal. So in general, carrier signal can be written as C of t equal to AC cos 2 pi fct plus phi. AC cos 2 pi fct plus phi. This is the complete expression. So characteristics of carrier signal is amplitude, frequency and phase. So amplitude modulation means AC contains the message signal. AC contains the message signal. Frequency modulation means FC contains the message signal information. Phase modulation means phi contains the message signal information. This is about the classification about the continuous wave modulation. Coming to the pulse modulation techniques, Pulse modulation, carrier is pulse type of waveform. This is again classified into analog modulation and digital modulation. Analog modulation, again the classification is pulse amplitude, pulse width, pulse position. Pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation. Digital modulation, information, digital modulation, message signal is digital. Digital modulation techniques, message signal is digital. Digital means ones and zeros carries the information. So digital modulation, pulse code modulation and delta modulation. This is some classification of the modulation techniques. Anyway, analog communication or digital communication, the term used is a modulation. This is very important term, modulation. So we have to understand what exactly happening in the modulation. To do the modulation, what are the signals required? Message signal and carrier signal. And what is amplitude modulation? So amplitude modulation, amplitude of the carrier signal varies in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal. So before understanding this definition, we have a look on the waveform. So here three waveforms are there: message signal, carrier signal and amplitude modulated signal. So we have time on x-axis and amplitude on a y-axis. So this message signal, suppose message signal is nothing but any type of realistic signals only, like speech audio signals or video signals. This is low frequency. So frequency is small for message signal. So when you are showing this message and carrier also, we have to discriminate it is a low frequency signal and it is a high frequency signal. How can we discriminate? So here it is time period of the signal is there. What is the time period of the signal? Time taken to complete one cycle. Time period is known as time required to complete one oscillation. So here it is the sinusoidal signal is started. It is changing its phase and again reaches to zero. So this is one complete revolution. How much time it has taken, that is known as time period of the signal. So what is the relation between the time period of the signal and frequency of the signal? T is equal to 1 by F. So F is small because for message signal, F is small and the time required to complete one oscillation will be more. So that's why we have drawn this message signal with larger time period. So T is large here. T is large here. But if we take for RF signal or carrier signal, RF signal or carrier signal, which is high frequency signal, frequency is more here. So frequency is more means time period equal to 1 by F. When F is more, time period will be less. So this is the time period of the carrier signal. This is the time period of the carrier signal. So time period is very small. Time period is very small. Time taken to complete one oscillation, one positive cycle, one negative cycle, it is taken this time. So this is the time period. If you compare the time period of message and compare the time period of carrier, we are clearly showing the time period of carrier is very small. Time period is small means frequency is larger. So this is a high frequency signal and this is the low frequency signal. While drawing the waveform itself, we are clearly indicating the frequency differences between the message and carrier. And the message one cycle, we are showing carrier some 10 cycles. That means suppose this is 10 kilohertz signal, it will be 100 kilohertz. So the ratio for carrier to message frequency is 10. So in one cycle, one message cycle, we are showing 10 carrier cycles. And coming to the amplitude definition, so this is the carrier signal. Amplitude is constant. The amplitude of the carrier is AC. So message signal, we are keeping any one of the carrier characteristics. That is, we can keep the message in amplitude part, message in frequency part or message in phase part. So definition is amplitude modulation. So amplitude of the carrier varies with the message signal. Message signal now is at the amplitude of the carrier. Okay, carrier is there, and this carrier amplitude varies with the message signal. Amplitude varies with the message signal means this amplitude varies in accordance with the message signal. So this envelope is known as the message signal, and this is amplitude modulated waveform. This is the amplitude modulated waveform. Now the definition is amplitude of the carrier varies in accordance with the modulating signal is known as amplitude modulation. Modulating signal means before modulation. Modulated signal means after modulation. So amplitude of the carrier varies and frequency is constant. Here the frequency is constant or not. This is the modulated wave. This frequency and this frequency both are same, but amplitude varies with the message signal. So where is my message signal? Message signal is at the top of the carrier signal. So in the amplitude part, we are keeping the information signal and transmitting from one place to another place. This is the amplitude modulated signal. And we have one more signal is there, frequency modulated signal. So again, this is a low frequency signal. Time period is very small. And carrier signal, time period is very small. So this is high frequency signal. Frequency is high for carrier and frequency is small for message signal. Now, in frequency modulation, so this message is keeping in the frequency part. Frequency part means you are observing the frequency of the signal varies. Here the frequency is constant. Amplitude is constant. There is no amplitude variations. Frequency variations are there. You can observe here expansion is there. Expanding the waveform is there. Here the compression of waveform is there. So compression means here the more number of cycles are there. Here the less number of cycles are there. So frequency should not constant in this modulated wave. So frequency varies with the message signal. So this is known as frequency modulation. So analog modulation, we have three types of modulation: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation and phase modulation. Frequency of the carrier changes in accordance with the message, then it is known as frequency modulation. Here the important concept is in terms of AC varies with the message signal. It is known as amplitude modulation. Amplitude of the carriers varies with the message signal. It is amplitude modulation. Frequency of the carrier varies with the message signal. It is known as frequency modulation. Phase of the carrier varies with the message. It is known as phase modulation. Amplitude, frequency, phase. These are the characteristics of carrier signal. Once again, clearly telling, carrier signal is just a transport or truck type of signal to transmit the information signal from one place to another place. Because carrier is a high frequency signal and message is a low frequency signal. So to avoid the losses with the low frequency signal transmission, we are using carrier as a transporter for transferring signal from one place to another place. If message is kept at the amplitude part of the carrier, so this is the example, amplitude part message is overlapped. Amplitude varies with the message signal, amplitude modulation. Frequency varies with the message signal, frequency modulation. Phase of the carrier varies with the information signal, that is phase modulation. So this is about very small introduction about the modulation. In next session, we are going to see what is exactly modulation means, whether we are converting low frequency signal to high frequency signal. We should not change the frequency of signal because frequency only the fundamental for the information. So we should not change the frequency. We have to translate low frequency to high frequency. We will see in next session those concepts. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.